Hey guys, Michael from Copper vs Glass, and I've just got back from the OnePlus 7 event in London where they unveiled not one, not two, not three, but 4 brand new products. So, let's take a look. And if you guys want to know what is in this bag of swag that I also got from the event, then let me know in the comment section down below.
Swag! Stuff we all get.
Now I've also got a ton of notes on my OnePlus 6T here that I took from the event itself, so again, if you catch me looking down at my device every now and then, it's just to give you guys the correct information. So let's start off with the screen, as that was one of the main things that was being touted with the OnePlus 7 Pro, and for very good reason. It's basically the best display on any smartphone. It's called the Fluid AMOLED display. It comes in at 6.67 inches with a 93% screen to body ratio, which is incredible. The bezels around this thing are absolutely tiny. You do have a bigger bezel along the chin side of things, but again around the edges and the top, there's pretty much no bezel at all. For the first time on a OnePlus device, it is also over 1080p, so you're going to get a Quad HD Plus display with 4.4 million pixels, 516 pixels per inch, with a resolution of 3120 by 1440. And this display looks absolutely incredible, and in my opinion is definitely going to rival what Samsung are currently doing on their newest devices. It received an A+ rating from ScreenMate. It's got a 90Hz refresh rate, so again it is extremely smooth and extremely fluid as well, and it's also the fastest of any AMOLED screen. It also supports HDR10 and HDR10+ content. It's got a new Night Mode 2.0 which can affect things like the brightness and the warmth of the display, and you've also got a new horizon line lighting feature for notifications that are incoming, which basically just has a line down the side of the display as it is curved to let you know if you've got any notifications without having to look directly at the display. You've still also got the built-in fingerprint sensor like on the OnePlus 6T, however this time it is way faster. The sensor itself is bigger and it unlocks in around 0.2 seconds, making it one of the fastest fingerprint readers on the market. It's 38% faster than what I've got here on my OnePlus 6T, and you've also then got Dolby speakers built into the display as well. Now this is really awesome because you've got stereo front-facing speakers, which is something you don't have on something like the OnePlus 6T, and it's something I actually really miss from my Google Pixel 2 XL. Having this one mono speaker on the bottom isn't necessarily the best thing out there, so to have dual front-facing speakers on this new device is really awesome to see. Next up then we have the design of the device itself. Now this is a whole new design here for the OnePlus 7 Pro, and you've got it in 3 different colour varieties. You've got almond, mirror grey, and this really awesome nebula blue, which I say is inspired by the universe, you know, whatever that means. It does have an all glass back, so again it is still going to be prone to fingerprints on certain models, and you are going to want to protect it with a case, but obviously like always, OnePlus is going to do a ton of first party cases that you can use on your new device. It's also curved on the front and the back, so you're going to get a really thin bezel around the side here. Now for me, I'm not a huge fan of curved displays on the front. I would prefer to have it flat like on my OnePlus 6T here for example, because when you're watching certain video content it does bleed off the edge ever so slightly. However, with the OnePlus 7 Pro, it's not a massive curve and it's a little bit better than what you'd find on something like the new Galaxy S10. Now internally you are going to find the brand new Snapdragon 855 processor, and this is going to be available with 6, 8 or 12 gigabytes of RAM, which is absolutely insane when you consider that some laptops only have 4 gigabytes or 6 gigabytes. To have 12 on a phone is absolutely mental. Now you've also got the really awesome Adreno processor for that gaming GPU performance, and this is going to be around 30% faster compared to what we had on the OnePlus 6T. So in regards to the newest and latest games that you're going to be playing on the OnePlus 7 Pro, they're definitely going to look really nice along with the super good display as well. You're going to be getting a really high refresh rate along with some really high graphical settings. Now of course it's going to have the latest version of Oxygen OS, which is going to be Oxygen OS 9.5. Now it's going to have built-in screen recording, updated navigational gestures, a better gaming mode, a Zen mode to help disconnect from the outside world, and that's going to give you around 20 minutes downtime where you're not really going to be able to access or use your device, just to get you away from your screen every now and then. It's also going to have the most frequent software updates just behind Google and their Pixel devices, and actually comes in second place for any software or security updates. So you're going to be getting around 2 years of software updates and 3 years of security updates, so again this is definitely a more long-term device. Now it is going to launch with Android Pie straight out of the box, however as soon as Android Q becomes available, I'd imagine the OnePlus 7 Pro isn't going to be that far behind the newest Pixel device. Now you're also going to be getting a 4000 mAh battery and the newest version of Warp Charge, which is going to allow you to get around 50% charge in 20 minutes, and that is absolutely insane. So if you're heading out for a night out, for example, and you forgot to charge your phone, just put it on while you're getting ready and it's going to be charged before you're even ready to go out. And now onto the cameras, and the OnePlus 7 Pro has a brand new triple camera design. Now the main sensor is going to be 48 megapixels, and again it's going to come in at 1.6 with regards to the aperture and have a 7-element lens design. The second camera is going to be an 8 megapixel 3x zoom with an aperture of 2.4. And then the last camera, and this is something that I think every device should be doing now, is going to be an ultra wide sensor. Now it's got 117 degree field of view, so again it's got 3 types of autofocus, which is really awesome to see, so you're not really going to miss any of those shots, and that applies to all of the cameras that I'm talking about. Now you're also going to have some improvements to a brand new mode called Ultra Shot, which is basically just going to do everything for you that you need. So if you think you're going to miss a shot, or you don't necessarily think you've got the exposure, saturation, color, or anything like that right, this is pretty much going to try and do everything for you. And the results that I saw at the event definitely speak for themselves. You've also got the new Nightscape mode, which is version 2.0, so again this is going to help with those low light pictures, but from the examples that I saw, it's not necessarily as good as what we're finding on the P30 Pro, or maybe even the Google Pixel 3 and 3 XL. And just to chuck it in there, not that it really makes too much difference because there's a ton of other tests that need to go ahead as well, but it does also have a DxO mark of 111, so again it's really high on that scale, but we're going to have to see how it performs in the real world to see exactly how good or bad the camera actually is. Now the front camera is something brand new and is also something I'm not necessarily a fan of. You can have a 16 megapixel camera, but it is motorized. And as we know with moving parts, there's more room for failure compared to a static front-facing camera. However, the motorization they say is rated for 150 times being used every single day for 5.5 years. So again, if you're going to be using it for the face unlock as well, that's definitely going to wear it out a little bit quicker, but if these are anything to go by, the stats speak for themselves and it's not actually going to be too bad over time. One awesome thing that they also done on stage was they actually dropped the device not onto the ground but just dropped it and then caught it, because what it actually has is a safety feature where the front facing camera that's motorized pops back into the phone when it is in freefall, which is something really awesome to see. So if you are going to be dropping your device or having any issues with it, you don't really need to worry about this motorized camera snapping off completely. And that kind of does it for the OnePlus 7 Pro. Now there is also going to be a 5G variant of the phone as well. Internal's design is pretty much exactly the same, however it is going to be 5G capable. Now it's also going to be one of the first 5G devices here in the UK, which is being headed by the company EE, and they're going to be launching it in 6 countries very soon, and then pretty much everywhere else around the UK very shortly after, so definitely keep an eye out for that. Now we did also get the announcement of another device, which is just the standard OnePlus 7. Now this one is just kind of an update to the OnePlus 6T, so the design itself is pretty much the same. You've still got the teardrop notch at the top, nothing really looks too different, and the camera layout itself, although it's the same as this one here, you are going to get that main 48 megapixel sensor from the 7 Pro. However, no luck there with the zoomed in and also the ultra wide camera. You're unfortunately not going to get access to that telephoto lens. But something you are going to get is the dual front facing speakers, and again they are going to be Dolby Atmos, so you're going to get some really awesome sound even if you go for the lower end 7. And last but not least, obviously they were going to announce it, they've also announced the OnePlus Bullet Wireless version 2. Now these wireless headphones are really awesome. They come with aptX HD 24-bit high-res audio, so again if you're going to be listening to some really high quality files, they're definitely going to sound really good in these headphones. You're also going to be getting Bluetooth 5.0, and you're going to get a 10-minute charge, which is going to give you a 10-hour battery. So again, if you want to just pop these on before you go out to the gym, out for a run, or just out for the day, then you're going to get a really awesome battery life from only 10 minutes worth of charge. Now the full battery capacity is around 14 hours from start to finish, so again a really nice option if you're looking for some wireless headphones. Now they're going to be available on May 21st along with every other device that I've mentioned apart from the 5G and also the 7. They're going to be coming a little bit later in the year for those lower end models or for the model that contains 5G. However, the OnePlus 7 Pro is going to go live on May 21st. However, there are also going to be some pop-up stores around the world, so if you do want to get your hands on it a little bit early, then you've got the option to do so. Now with regards to the pricing for the OnePlus 7 Pro, taking everything into account that I've mentioned in this video, You're going to be getting the 6GB of RAM variant with 128GB of storage, starting from £649 here in the UK. You can bump that up to 8GB of RAM and 256GB of storage for $699, and then you can also max it out completely with 12GB of RAM, 256GB of storage for $799. So you're still looking at saving around £200 compared to a flagship device from Samsung, Google or Apple. And the standard OnePlus 7 is going to come in two different variants. You've got one with 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage for only $499, and then you've got a 8GB of RAM, 256GB of storage for $549. So again, in regards to that price point, they're really competitive, and if you compare it to some higher end devices, you're definitely going to be saving a ton of money going with OnePlus compared to a more high level brand like I mentioned with Samsung or Apple. And that's going to do it guys for this video. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up down below. And if you've got any questions or comments about the OnePlus 7 event or any device that I've mentioned, let me know in the comment section down below or on Twitter at @CopperVersusGlass. For more content moving forward, don't forget to subscribe and also turn on notifications so that you're notified anytime that I post a new video here on the channel. I'm Michael from CopperVersusGlass. Thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video.